Hola clase, today we are going to be talking about using the preposition de in Spanish. Now we've already talked about using de in Spanish when we talked about saying where we were from in Spanish. Soy de Plainfield. So it means from, but it can also mean of as well. We are going to be using of today in our different formulas, the meaning of de with using of. Now, the question, ¿cuándo usas de en español? When do you use de in Spanish? Now, you're going to use de whenever you're showing possession over something, whenever you're showing possession. So that's usually going to be when we have an apostrophe S in English. For example, if we were to say Anthony's backpack. All right, Anthony's backpack. We are showing possession over that backpack. Anthony is showing possession over that backpack. It is his. It belongs to him. It's his possession. The second situation that we use de in Spanish is when we have multiple nouns right next to each other, together in the sentence. All right, nouns right next to each other in the sentence. So this could be, for example, the word train station. All right, this is a noun, train is a noun, and station is a noun. So we have two nouns that are right next to each other. All right, so that's going to be another situation that we use de. Now, a few different formulas that we have. Formula number one, we are going to use the formula in English for possession, all right? So this is following this general formula up here. So we are going to have the owner or the person plus the apostrophe S, all right? So we have the owner or the person plus the apostrophe S plus the object or the noun. All right, plus the thing. All right. Now, in Spanish, we have to switch it up a little bit. We have to switch it up. We have to have the object first, the object or the noun first, plus our preposition of de, plus the owner or the person. All right, the thing that owns that object or the noun. All right. So, for example, it's gonna sound pretty formal in English. It's gonna sound pretty formal, but it's correct grammar in Spanish. All right, if we literally translate it. So let's take this example of Anthony's backpack. All right, that was our formula in English. Now we're going to transfer it to our formula in Spanish. So we have the object or the noun. The object is the backpack. So we're going to say backpack. We're going to use de. De means of, remember. So backpack of, then the owner or the person. So that owner or the person is Anthony. So we don't say Anthony's backpack in English. We say the backpack of Anthony. The backpack of Anthony. All right? So we're going to translate that. We're going to say la mochila de Anthony. All right, la mochila de Anthony is how we are going to translate that. Now, we have to keep in mind there is no such thing as an apostrophe S in Spanish. There's no such thing as an apostrophe S in Spanish. Sorry about that, you guys. So we do not ever use the apostrophe S. Do not do it. It will be wrong. Do not do it. Now, this was our first scenario, showing possession. This was first scenario. Now we're going to look at our second scenario with two objects or two nouns right next to each other. All right, so the formula for this is going to be switched around as well in Spanish. So we have the second noun plus de plus the first noun. All right, So let's do a quick example with Spanish class, all right? Spanish is a noun. Class is a noun. So the first noun that we have is Spanish. The second noun that we have is class. Then we need to follow this formula. So what's our second noun? Our second noun is class. So we're going to be saying the class. Then we're going to be saying day, which is of. Then the second noun. The first noun is Spanish. The class of Spanish. So let's translate that. The would be la. Class is clase. Of is day. And Spanish is español. Alright, so the class of Spanish, la clase de español. So we still keep the gender of the objects the same, no matter who is showing possession over them. Alright, so we're looking at this one right here. So even though mochila is feminine and its owner is masculine, Anthony is a boy's name. Even though Anthony is a boy, he can still own a backpack. He can still own a backpack. That is still possible. We can never, ever, ever change the gender of mochila. We can never do that in Spanish. It's always going to end in an A or an S, A-S. And it will always have the preposition la or las before it, or the article before it of la or las. Always, always, always. Mochila cannot change gender, even though it has a masculine owner. Alright, that's very important to remember. Flip it over. Now, we're going to do some examples. Alright, we're going to translate the following phrases and sentences into Spanish. Alright, so our first example right here, we have Elena's shoes are purple. Elena's shoes are purple. So, we need to follow our formula of showing possession, because we have this apostrophe S right here. So that's going to be a big key that we're going to be showing possession. Elena is showing possession over her shoes. She owns her shoes. So we're going to start off from our formula. We're going to start off with our object or our noun. So our object is the shoes. So we're going to say los zapatos. This is a Z. Los zapatos. Now we need to say, we need to follow our formula still. We need to put in de, los zapatos, de. Now we need to fill it in with the person or the owner. So we're going to say Elena. So los zapatos de Elena. So we've taken care of this part, Elena's shoes. We've taken care of that. Now we need to say are. Are in Spanish, we are going to use the verb ser in order to determine that. Now, we need to be looking on the plural side for this, alright? We can't be looking at the singular side because we're saying los zapatos, it's plural, alright? So the he, she, it box over here is going to be S. The they box or our box is going to be son, so we're going to choose son. Los zapatos de Elena son. Then we're going to fill it in with the color. The color is purple. That is going to be morado. Now we need to agree in number and gender. Zapatos is masculine. Morado is masculine. Check. Zapatos is plural. We need to make morados plural now as well. So we're going to say son morados. Alright. Now, I want you to do examples 2, 3, and 4. Pause the video at this time, please, and we will go over the answers when you come back. All right, you guys. So our answers, Jacob's pens are black. We have los bolígrafos, remember that accent over the I in bolígrafos. Los bolígrafos de Jacob son negros. We chose this OS ending because bolígrafos has an OS ending. Alright, so we have the object plus de plus the person. This down here, the science class. So we have noun 1, noun 2. We're going to say, put noun 2 first, so la clase plus de plus noun 1 is ciencias. Same thing down here, la clase de historia. Now, what I want you guys to do, I want you to answer these true and false questions, cierto or falso. I want you to answer these true and false questions, and then we will talk about it next class when you come in, all right? So you are now done with your homework at this time. Please stop the video and do your true and false questions. Hasta mañana, clase.